Welcome to the Codebook Podcast. If you are with us, it means that the topic of malicious information activity is of interest to you. In our podcasts, you can delve into the shadow world of both state and non-state actors, the latter of which hardly ever come to the attention of the mainstream media. Don't forget to subscribe to us so you don't miss the next episodes. Let's go!
Hello there, friends. My name is Ali Hajizadeh, and I am a political analyst and entrepreneur. As an analyst, my main focus is the malicious information activity of Iran and Russia in the Greater Middle East area and Eastern Europe. I have been published and quoted in mainstream international media such as Al Arabiya, Wall Street Journal, Middle East Eye, The Times, etc. A number of American researchers refer to my analytical publications regarding Iranian malicious activity. As an entrepreneur, I am the founder of the US-based EdTech startup, which is the industry-first solution, in the field of human-focused information security. And also, in my home country, I own public relations and content production companies. Why did I decide to create podcasts? And what am I going to discuss in this podcast? I wrote many articles, actually, and analytical publications on malicious information activity. But, I feel that there is a gap in this area, and it needs to be somehow filled. Podcasts actually are certainly one way of doing this. To begin with, I would like to define the terms. When I talk or write about malicious information activity, some confuse it with cyber activity, but these are actually two completely different things. You have probably heard about propaganda, disinformation, psychology operations, manipulation, information wars, but how do we collectively refer to all those things? This is where the term of malicious information activity comes in handy. Unfortunately, in the last 10 years, last one decade, the United States and Europe have become increasingly affected by foreign malicious activity, primarily by operations carried out by Russia, Iran, China, and other non-state actors. Researchers in the West still find it difficult, to classify these actions. And there is also this serious confusion with terminology. I would like to point out straight away that this situation plays in the hands of malicious actors, as it makes it easier for them, to cover up their activities, to cover up their tracks and mislead researchers or governments or journalists. Well, since we started with terminology, we should touch upon the term that I mentioned at the very beginning, namely the human-focused information security. As there is also confusion with regard to it. Ordinary people and even journalists and researchers, some public servant, misunderstand this term, confusing it with human-centric cybersecurity. But cybersecurity or a cybersecurity specialist will not protect you from Chinese propaganda or from becoming, the target or victim of Russian information operation or operations. These are completely different areas that require different approaches and completely different skills, actually. Therefore, it is very important to know, the terminology, and it allows you to classify, and classification help you to fight against malicious information activities. Arguments over terms only cause, new problems for the victims and, of course, people in risk, and open windows of opportunity for malicious actors. In future podcasts, maybe I will return to this topic perhaps even dedicate some separate podcasts to each of these terms. Sometimes I see how leading Western experts underestimate the capabilities and influence of Russian information infrastructure. And sometimes the Western media refer to disinformation as a misinformation, which is in fact completely change the subject matter. I also witnessed many times how large-scale information operations was classified as a mere propaganda, thereby diminishing the scale, impact, and the possible effect of the operation or operations. In my podcasts, I will lay everything out for you. Unlike the certain experts who only have a superficial knowledge of the topic from the publications of their colleagues and occasional leaked information, I myself was the target and victim of such kind of attacks, and I had to defend myself, my business, my reputation, and my family in the real life. This bitter experience was a valuable lesson and a kind of eye-opener for me, kind of aha moment for me. Whether we like it or not, information wars and information operations have become an instrument of international relations and part of our daily reality. We can either become the victims or learn to defend ourselves, our family, and our organizations. Thank you for your attention.